How I'm going to do this is I'm gonna do it because there's going to be certain people who's going to be coming into our organization and they know nothing about TradingView, and I admit that a lot of the times I forget that some people don't even know what this is and they need to start from here. So this is what we're doing this for. Okay, so the most important thing that you're going to want to have on TradingView is you want to have access to the tools that you use the most. And obviously, everybody's going to have different tools that they use, but easy for us is that we don't use indicators, so no need to worry about having any of that. So, what we like to do is have this quick toolbox up, and how you do it is on the left side of your trading view, you open your trading view, you're gonna have all of these different options. Like up over here, you're gonna be able to change your crosshairs and use erasers and stuff like that. So rather than continuously going in here and grabbing a trend line, it'd be easier if you could just grab it right here and just do like that. Then I can grab a box and just do like that, or grab, whatever I want to grab, just easy for me to do. So how you customize your toolbox, the tools that you want. And I'm gonna go through each one that I have on here, and maybe you want to adopt some of these tools. So the first one is this crosshair. This is pretty much all of our use. You can find this in this first section right here. And if you want, you guys can be doing this along with me. If you want to be setting up your trading view right now, that'd be the smartest thing to do. So I'll pause for like a couple of seconds if you guys want to get on your trading view and do this as I go with you. We're not going to talk about what pairs I trade the most right now. I'm gonna help people. I'm gonna help you guys set up your trading view, and then I'm gonna help you put your pairs like on your watch list and stuff like that. All right. So and I trade with whatever. So look, check this out. So the only thing I really use is crosshair, and I got this eraser check too. So how you gonna pull up this toolbar? You see if I unclick this star, how it leaves this toolbox. But if I have the star clicked, it pops back up, and I want this down here. So what you're going to do is go in here and check whichever ones you want. If you want to use the arrow or the dot, there's nothing but the dot is that. And then you have the arrow that looks like that. I prefer the crosshair, because it shows you price horizontal and diagonal. And then I use the eraser, obviously, to, erase stuff with. This second column right here, you're going to have these multiple different options for different lines, right? They give you another option to pick the crosshair line, but I already got that up on there, and that one is like super thick. I really use the one that we have up here. So you got the horizontal line. I don't pretty much use those. I prefer to use horizontal rays, and rays are basically wherever you put the line at, it just shows the line from the right forward. See, horizontal lines, wherever you put the line at, it shows it from left to right. And I don't trade retail support and resistance. So I only need to know what's been on the left to the right to trade it. So that's why I stopped using these lines and started using the horizontal rays. So if you want to put horizontal rays on your chart, all you got to do is find it right here, say horizontal ray, click the star button, and then it'll pop up on here. And then when you want to use it, it's quickly accessible by just clicking that. I got the vertical line for my teaching purposes, and I got the arrow. I highlighted the arrow, basically where I want to point to stuff or mark my structure breaks and stuff like that. Okay, so moving on, right here, I have the brush. We obviously know everybody likes to use the brush. The brush would allow you to draw on your chart like this, right? And we're going to talk about settings and all of that stuff after I show you which tools I have up here, right? I'll just be able to show you one of them and it apply to pretty much everything, right? So that's your brush. You want to have that up on there. I don't use the highlighter or any of that. You have your rectangle option up here, and that's typically when you want to highlight certain areas. Like I got this box up here. That's a good one to have. And I use this eclipse. I don't use it for my trading, but I use it for teaching purposes because I like to point certain things out. So below that, you have your text options. These are basically your annotation options, right? If you want to put stuff on the chart that you might want to highlight and stuff like that. Hold on one second. No. All right, so right here, I just use that for that type of annotation. Text, like if you want to put up text, I'll always have that quick option up there. And then this one is this is one that I really like, which is price label, because when you highlight it, it'll basically annotate the price on the chart. So if you got an area that you're watching, you can have it like marked up like 7209 or like, I mean, 7210 or something like that. So sometimes I use that. I don't use anything in here because those are retail indicators. But over here, we have our long and short position option. You want to put both of those on. That's how you're going to be able to determine your risk to reward ratio. So like this option is the long one. So when you want to get into a buy trade, you're obviously going to be measuring your where you're going to be entering the chart, which is the orange line. The bottom of the red box is your stop loss. Obviously, you can see when you move it up and down, the pip amount or the point amount changes. And then the green area is your target or your take profit area. And as you move it up and down, you can see that changes. You know, you guys know what we do with risk and reward ratio. So that's self-explanatory. And that's how we get that. And for the short side, it'll obviously be flipped around. You can see like it's different, right? So you want to have both of those marked up on there because those are going to be really important to your trading. I use this bars pattern for teaching purpose also. You don't need really to worry about that, but all it does is it just highlights, like mirrors the price action already happened. Sometimes I just use that to like show people what I'm looking for on price action because price just repeats itself. All right, so out of this, you can't put those options up there. I pretty much use these. Obviously, you know, you guys see us use those annotations, and that's pretty much it. Now, when it comes to adjusting these things, if you want to adjust anything that you have, if you already have it on the chart, you can just double click it and go to visibility or style. One of the things I like to do sometimes is when you got a lot of levels on your chart, based off if you go to the visibility option, like when you double click any tool, you'll have a visibility option, no matter if it's a box, a line, or whatever. So when you go to visibility, each one of these boxes are going to be checked, which means that no matter what time frame you go on, you're going to be able to see whatever you got checked. But if you was to take this off, what chart are we on? The hours. See how you can't see that box no more? I put it back on, you can. So if you got a lot of levels on a certain time frame, like maybe the 1 hour, like maybe you don't want to see those levels on a daily and weekly chart, right? So you could take those levels off, right? You could take those levels off, and then you can be able to highlight them like you need to. So one of the things I like to do is by the sometime when I have a lot of levels on an hour chart, I don't want to see, maybe I don't want to see them on a monthly, so I will take those 1 hour levels and like just check them from the weekly and the monthly and maybe the daily. So I only see them when I'm on the 1 hour chart. So that's how you do that with any of those tools. So then also, if you want to change your colors or anything like that, you have all of these options available for you. You're able to change the outside color, which is the border with the first option. The second option to change your color on the inside, whatever you want that color to be. Obviously, you see the multiple different options, or you can make your own custom made color if you want to, for you guys who like to do stuff like that. This option right here is going to be the text color. Like if you put text on this box, because you also have the option to put text on the box. So this is going to determine the thickness, right, of the outside border. And then if you click this little mechanical looking thing that says settings, right, you go back to style or text, you can actually type, right? If I put POI, you actually can type and that'll pop up right here. Also, if you go in that settings area, you see where it says text alignment. If you want to move this from away from the right side, but to a different area, you can move it from the right side to the left or the center, right? You can move it from the center or the right side. So if I wanted it to be on the left side, I just move it from the left. You can also do it from top, inside, or bottom. I can have it on the inside of it. I can have it on the bottom of it instead of the top. So you can move that around to your liking. All you got to do is go around here and play around with these different setting options and stuff like that, right? So now the next thing I want to show you is when you want to have something that you continuously use, right? Like say, for instance, like these horizontal rays, I use them to mark off my structure points. So what I did was you're able to save these as profiles after you, or as templates, I mean, after you mark them up like you like them. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to identify a 1 hour low or high. I have a specific color and I have the text and stuff written on that. So all I have to do is open up my templates and click 1 hour lower high. And you see that changes the color of the line, and it already puts 1 hour LH, which stands for lower high for me. So what I did was I started with a blank template like this, right? And I choose it to the color of my liking, put whatever text that I want to put in it, right? And it looks like that. So then after that, I go to the template option. You're going to click over here to where you say save as. Then you're going to put the option of the name that you want to put in your template, and then you're going to click save. And when you do that, every time you open up a horizontal array, whichever options for templates that you have saved, they're going to pop up here. And you're going to be able to use those at your own will. See how every time I click one, it's a different. If I go to weekly, it's going to be a different color and different. You see what I'm saying? So you could do that for anything. You could do that with these boxes. I even have it for my structure. So when I mark out an arrow, I can go to my templates and I have daily breaker structure, 15-minute, 5-minute, 4-hour, 1 hour, monthly, weekly. So if I go to 5-minute breaker structure, you can see it changes. If I go to 4-hour breaker structure, it changes. Right. So it saves me time when I'm wanting to mark up stuff and I just can like, oh, 1 hour, boom, and then go on to the next thing. You get what I'm saying? So that's a really handy way to save you a lot of time. You just got to sit down, mark up the things that you want. Like if you know you use arrows to signify your breaker structures, right? Then you can go through and mark off the different time frames, right? 1 hour, 4 hour, 5-minute. So when you're using it and you see a 15-minute breaker structure, all you have to do is put the line on there. You don't have to pull up and type the text in over and over again. You could just put 15-minute breaker structure, boom, there you go, done. Move on to the next thing, right? So it's really handy. Okay. So next, what I'm going to be showing you guys is basically these tools that I just showed you are the main tools that we use. Like you don't really pretty much need more than that. Like you have your Fibonacci. Well, those was two that I forgot to tell you to put on there. But make sure you put your Fibonacci retracement tool on there because that's the tool we use to determine our ranges. And we see our 50%, all that different type of stuff, optimal trade entries, extensions, 161.8, 1272, stuff like that, right? So all of those levels are given in the boot camp. So that that's our Fib tool that we're going to be using like constantly, like consistently, like especially when you're first getting the use of determining what is premium and what is discount and measuring POIs and measuring the 50% of candles or ranges and all that different type of stuff. Plenty of reasons why you should be using your Fibonacci tool. So next we're going to talk about these time frames up here. A lot of people don't know that. Well, obviously it depends on, you can't, some of these to access these time frames, you do have to pay more. You have to pay around $60 a month. Like that's how much this is like a premium account. But even at the basic account, about $14, like you still can access everything above the 1 minute chart. But what's important is you can do the same thing with the time frames. I see a lot of people going and click and typing in each time frame. All you got to do is click this little arrow that says time interval right here, and you see it pops up all of these time frames. What you're able to do is the same way we did the tools over here. You're able to highlight these, right? And it's going to go to your favorites. So now you can just easily maneuver through each time frame with just a click of a button. You get what I'm saying? And also, depending on how upgraded you are, if you want to add a time frame, like how I added the 2 hour and 8 hour, right? You're going to be able to create that. This is kind of in a way down here, but you're going to be able to create that by going down here and clicking add time. It's kind of in a way because it is. Well, I can move this. Yeah, right here. So you're going to add it like days and ranges and stuff like that. You're going to go all the way to the bottom. You can add time, right? You can add hours, days. So I did like 2 hours. That's how I got the 2 hour chart, or the 45-minute chart. Like I did 45 minutes, or like the 3-minute chart. Like I created a 3-minute chart. So you can create charts in between the standard charts, because I like to look at what price action is fractal. So I like to look at multiple time frames: the 1 minute, the 3-minute, the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 15, the 30, the 45, the hour, the 2 hour, 3, 4, 8 hour, then to the daily, weekly, and monthly. You get what I'm saying? So I use all of these time frames. I don't really use the second charts that much, but I do. But I use all of these time frames. Um, so that's really important to have your time frames on point. The next thing I would recommend you do is this area here, right? Up here where you see these candles, right? This is going to be, if you do the same thing, you find the down arrow, right? And it's going to be your bar style. Basically, what this is going to do is change the style of what you're looking at as far as candles. Okay, so if you click down, you can see it pops up all of these options: bars, candles, hollow candles, Hika no Ishi, whatever that is, line, area, baseline, Renko, line break, Kaji, point and finger, and range. Now, I don't know what all of these are. Obviously, I know people I've seen people trading this stuff like Renko and Hikanashi, but I'll just use candles, right? So based off what we look at for structure, I know we look at the line chart and I know we look at the candle chart. So I highlighted on my favorites both of those charts so I can simultaneously, right, maneuver between both without having to open this and then go find it and click it. But I can just maneuver. And if I wanted to add, like, let's say the bar chart, if I highlighted it, it'd just add it up there. And I can just click between these. If I wanted to take it off, I just unclick it, right? And then it'll go back to normal. Well, eventually they go back to normal, probably when you refresh the page. So they go back to normal when you refresh the page, right? So you can do that for all of this stuff. If you use indicators, I'm not suggesting you do, but you can, like, that's how you'll be able to have your favorite indicators and stuff, right? It's the same type of way. Okay. So another tip and trick that I want to show you guys is we're going to move on to um how to, when you're looking at the chart, like how to have yourself better prepared. Approaching the chart, approaching when I'm not really going into markups, but I want to show you some tips and tricks. Approach. So let's go back down to like the 4-hour chart. Okay, guys, check this out. So what you want to do is you always want to be your best friend is going to be these alerts. So you see where my crosshair is. If I drag all the way to the right, see how I got this plus sign? There's many ways you could do alerts. You can right click on your chart and it'll give you the option to add alert. You can press alternative and A, right? It'll give you the option to add an alert. Or, right? Or if you look at this plus sign all the way to the right and you press that plus, it'll give you the option to add an alert. The last way I want to show you you can do is you can use an actual trend line or a box. And what you can do is it got a little alarm right here. You can add an alert. So now you can have it to where that trend line, when the price hits there, that's going to actually be the alert, right? So I do this for POIs, breaker structures and different stuff like that. I will put alerts on them. And then I will title it like breaker structure and stuff like that. So then when it alerts me on my phone, I know that a certain pair, I put the time frame. Like say, for instance, I was waiting on, they was looking at this as in price action, and we were waiting to see if this high was going to get broken to create a higher high, right, out of this price action. I would have had this alert set. I would have set an alert, right, and I put 4-hour break a market structure, right? Then I create it, boom, and now that's an alert. I take that line, lock it. This is how you can stop from moving stuff around on your chart after you want it in a certain place. You can click the lock option. And now, even if you accidentally click it, it won't move it nowhere. Only way you can move it if you unlock it. And then now you can freely move it over it, like move it again. But then I'll lock it and then to keep that in place. So now until I remove it, that alert will be in place. And when price actually breaks this area, I would have got alerted for a market structure break. And then I would have potentially been able to catch this mitigation play right here, in the lower time frames for this move up, right? Or if we got a level like this, I will have like, this would be like POI. So I put it like a couple pips above, right? Because the alert gonna be at the high line. I would set, let me put the, oops. I set an alert approaching, and I call these approaching POI. I. Right, approaching POI. All right, so we'd have been alerted once they got hit, and when price came into here, we'd have been potentially be able to get in on this reaccumulation inside of this high. Right, so we'd have been able to go down to the lower time frames, and then potentially participate on this big spike up. Right, so that's pretty much. I'm just showing you how to use the alerts. We're not really going into a price action lesson. So over here, this is going to be your next important tool. I advise you start using this to help with your journaling, because when you mark, let me get rid of all of this. When you mark something up, let's say, for instance, you had a trade that you were looking at. I don't know, like maybe something like this, right? And you're in profit, right? Or this is your trade and your take profit got hit. What I like to do is you can use this as your information. Like this screenshot has so much information on it. Look at all the things that it tell you that you usually are journaling. That's so important, right? When you got in, right? Where your stop loss was, where your take profit was. Did you win or loss, right? Also, what time frame, what pair, what day, right? Well, this will be all that's going to be on the screenshot. It's going to show you what date, what time. So that's what session, all of that information, right? So screenshotting this, right? And if you got a few other things annotated, like you can use the text option or something to write those on, copy it, and you can put it into whatever journaling services that you're using, right? If it's the document or the document that you seen we had, or how I tell you people, I use Discord to do some journaling, like stuff like that. Like you can like send those links. You can make chats to put those links in for yourself and start journaling like that. You could like do this with before pictures or like ideas. It means you got to take the trades. These can be things that you're just looking at to see how they play out, right? You know what I'm saying? But that's going to be a very important tool for you in order for you to get to the next level when it comes to your chart work. So the next important thing, that if you want to change any of the stuff on your charts, you're going to click this little option right here, this little mechanical button in the top right hand corner. It's called chart properties, and you're going to be able to pick and set up your chart however you want to set it up. Really, you only need to worry about the stuff at the top part. You need to mess with none of this stuff down here. You get the messing up crap. So however you want your background, you can choose gradient. I don't like gradient. I like solid. How do you pull up the tool that I was just using? Which one? The camera tool. You just click the little camera, right, to take a snapshot. Or if you was talking about the long and short position tool, it's right here. Say long position, short position, right? So this chart properties, I like to use a solid background because you can see how ugly. Well, I ain't gonna call it ugly because somebody might use that, but how that looks. So vertical lines, vertical grid lines, horizontal grid lines. I took all of that off. Session breaks are basically that. I took those off. I don't really need those. I don't like that on my chart. You have trading. You can choose to show your positions, your orders, status line, symbol. You don't really need to bother none of that. Symbol. This is how you change your candle colors. Change the color of the bodies, the borders, or the wicks. You can like go in there and operate those colors and pick what you want, right? And just play around with it and see what you like. Here you can adjust your time zone based off what you want to see. I got mine set to New York time because I trade based off Eastern time, right? And when you're done with those options, you can just click OK. And that will, apply all your settings that you just picked, okay? So that's going to be very important that you do that. If you want to change something. Here, it's going to give you the option to save the chart layout that you have. Now, what that's going to do is anytime you save a chart layout, it's basically going to be like all of this stuff that you set up in here, okay? So if you want to apply that same chart layout to any chart, right, you're going to be able to apply it by doing that, okay? So next thing that's going to be important is you're going to have over here, let me close it. You're going to have this right scroll column bar right here. Okay, so now going up, you're going to have a bunch of different options. You're going to be able to see your alerts that you got set. You got an alert window. It'll have all the alerts that you got set. You'll be able to see like AUD/USD. You'll be able to see BAT. You'll be all of this different stuff. I don't know why they like stop trigger. I don't take trades on here. How the hell my stop was triggered? But you'll be able to see your alerts on here, right? And that's going to be able to let you know what you're looking at or what you may have looked at. You can see I got over like 400 alerts. So I just like set so many alerts. So that's how you find your alerts. But what's going to be important is this first option up here, let's say watch list and details. So watch list and details, when you click that, it's going to open up this option here. Now, when yours first start off, it's not going to look like this. I created mine like this. It's just going to have a couple options. Now, what I did was, if you want to add and make a list, what I did was I made different lists based off the different assets. Obviously, Forex, I put Forex pairs inside of the Forex folder. So if I wanted to add a Forex pair to this Forex folder, what I'll do is click the plus sign, and it says add symbol, right? And then I can go over to Forex, right? And then I can see the one that I want to add. And when you get to what you want to add, if you already have it added, it's going to have an X sign, meaning that you can take it off the watch list. But if you want to add it, it's going to have the option for a plus sign, right? Means you can put it on the list. Now, just because GBP USD is not added, you have to make sure you don't have it added by a different broker. See, I got it on FXCM, but not on Onada. I don't need it on both, right? So you got to be also looking out for that too. Okay, so, but if you want to add something that you don't have, then you would just click the plus sign to add it. Okay, and then it'll stay in this watch list. So also, you could do the same thing with commodities, right? All I did was press the plus sign. I went over and I typed in different commodities, right? Copper, aluminum, platinum, oil, silver, gold, zinc, right? I did the same thing with digital currencies, which are obviously cryptocurrencies, right? You can just click add, you can go to crypto, and then you can add whichever ones you want to add to your crypto watch list, or take off ones that you want to take off. See BAT, BTC, XRP, XLM, Ethereum, CRO, SAN, right? So you could just do this, and you create a new folder. You see these three little dots. Oops, sorry. These three little dots. You'll click the three dots, right? No, that's not how you do it. No, you'll click this arrow right here. You'll click create new list. And when you create a new list, this is why I titled it digital currencies or Forex or commodities or stocks, right? And then it's going to be nothing in there at first until you go add stuff to it. And then anytime you go click, like if I click on, like I got flower stocks, those are marijuana stocks. See, I just added marijuana stocks to this. All of these are marijuana stocks. See, then I got regular stocks. See, regular stocks. And then I got a ton of stuff I'm gonna be adding here over the next couple of weeks too. Indexes, treasury notes prices, right? Commodities, I got commodities and commodities, grains and seed oil, stuff like wheat and corn and stuff like that. Bonds and yield prices, right? All of this, I put all the bonds and yields in its own price. So when I need to look at that stuff, I can just go right to it with no hesitation. Okay. So basically, this is going to be able to help you stay organized. And if you're having problems, and if you're going through the boot camp in the correct fashion, then you would know what all of these are being used for and how to separate them. And the little trick that I use is I go over to this website called barchart.com. Okay. And what that's going to do for you is it's going to help you see, right? Obviously, if you in the boot camp, we show you what we're actually using it for. But if you look at this option list right here, it's going to show you different options for commodities, right? You can see they got corn, soybeans, oats, rough whites. Like if you want to look at this stuff like commodity metals, which are stuff like oil, right? So you can go over here if you're having trouble with distinguishing between what is what. You can go over here and it'll help you out, like natural gas and stuff like that. So if you be wondering like which asset class the stuff belong to, you can always come look at over here that'll help you out. But that's barchart.com. Like I said, we give this out in the boot camp and show you what other reasons why we use do. See, like orange juice, coffee. So you'll be able to see all of those different things by going there. Okay. So once you get that all set up, what makes it easy is because you could just maneuver through any list and be able to look at what you want to look at. And just because I have all these pairs up, that means I trade them all. It's just that like it just makes it easy when people ask me to look for stuff, or if I'm breaking down something that somebody want me to look at, or if I'm looking at something for intermarket analysis purpose, because we could be looking at different pairs against each other, or correlated with each other for divergence, or different asset classes. And that's why I have all of these marked off, because if I'm looking at my indices and stuff like that, I want to be comparing the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and US 30 against each other, right? I want to be able to go to Forex and compare, like different pairs against each other, right? So the next important thing, the last thing about this area is, you see, I have this area called session pairs. So what I do is when I go through, I have a couple of pairs that I like to trade, or maybe, and it's based off. Sometimes I move my list around because certain pairs may be doing different things on a higher time frame. So I kind of like it'd be based off that. And what I do is I'll highlight these pairs. And how you highlight a pair is, all you do is when you click on the far left-hand side, right, or you highlight any pair, it's going to give you an option like a little flag looking thing next to it. If I was to click it, right, it'll give me an option of which color I want to make it. So if I put it red, what it'll do is it'll put it in this area called session pairs. So all of these pairs will be in their own little category thing, right? So now what I can do is, if these are the pairs that I'm looking at for the session, and dollar is always in there, even though I don't trade it, because obviously you know what we use dollar for. Then what I will be able to do is quickly be on session pairs and maneuver between the pairs that I'm trading for the session, or if I'm reanalyzing my positions or stuff like that. And you can make this whatever you want to make it, like as far as the list and stuff like that. As far as the color thing, you can do whatever you want, right? So if you want to make a I don't know, whatever you want, you can do whatever. I just got a session pair because it just lets me know those are the pairs that I'm trading for the session. Maybe you got a list that says cryptos that you're currently invested in right now, or crypto watch lists, or stuff like that. You can make, and then you can go into cryptos, choose like the green as the crypto watches, and then you can have those in that crypto watch list, right? So that's pretty much that. We're going to talk about next. See, check the chat. What is the index for AUD? I think AUD. I want to say no, it's not AUD. It's something like, because the indexes are like crazy, and it's like AX or something. I don't know. It's just like crazy. It's like let me see, A6 maybe, something like that. Maybe somebody knows. Oh, AXY. Thank you, bro. I know it's something like that. DXY, AXY. Yeah. Yeah, because the yen is like JXY and stuff. Yeah, so this is your Australian dollar currency index. Thank you, Trey House Houston. So this is your index right here. Like, if you want to look at this, like I'd rather look at what is this? I'd rather look at the futures contract. Like, it's a little bit cleaner, at least on TradingView. Obviously, you got other tools that you can use to analyze this, but hey, they made everything available here, so it is what it is. I like just using it all right here. But I like to look at the futures contract. Sometimes it's a little bit cleaner than the indexes, and it's the same price action, So I got like the Bitcoin's futures, like the Japanese yen's futures, the euro, the Canadian dollar, the British pound, the Zealand, Swiss franc, right, etc. Gold futures, etc., right? So it's just cleaner. You can see how cleaner it is, like rather than looking at the indexes. So that's why I have this futures options right here, because I put all those futures charts up in there. So that's pretty much all that I use on TradingView. I don't use, obviously, if you're using this to use your broker on and stuff, that's a totally different story. You have all that set up, your trading panel and stuff like that. But I don't trade off of TradingView. I am finna open up an account with TradeStation, so I guess that'll change here soon. But As of now, I don't. So that's pretty much all I use TradingView for right now is marking up purposes, like, using these tools. But this is going to be your best friend right here, like I said at the beginning. Like, this is going to be your best friend, like saving you a lot of time rather than you doing a bunch of things over. Like even these templates are going to be your best friend. It's going to save you a lot of time rather than you open this up, typing out this text, all of this different stuff. It's going to save you a lot of time. So you can just literally open up a chart, right, and go to the high, even if you even if you wasn't like excessive as you lost your lines or some stuff moved around, like it'd be so easy to reset what you're looking at by being able to use the templates, because you're just like, okay, I want to find my last lower low and then my last lower high, so if we're like, okay, this is our last lower high, it don't really take you long to scroll down here, right, and find, oops, that one, my bad. Oh, I thought I clicked the 4 hour. Now this is your daily lower high, right? And it doesn't take you long to indicate that, right? And then once you get this up, you know how easy it gets to just start cloning these, right? And then you can just start marking off those previous areas where the market came down. Because as we all know, when the market returns, you know what's going on. So with that said, I want to open this up for questions. If you guys got any more questions about this trading view, and then I got a little announcement to make after the questions, because we're gonna have some people. It's gonna be coming on the next session that we do. It's gonna be helping out with some of the basic trading concepts and understanding some of the basic concepts and different stuff like that. So I'm gonna open it up for questions for a few minutes. Do you guys got any questions about setting up something on your trading view, finding your charts, the watch list, any of the tools that we may use, anything like that? This would be the time to ask them, because I pretty much answer them right now. Let's see. Okie dokie. So since nobody have any questions, this is pretty much going to wrap up our first basic Forex trading. And like I told you guys, I wanted to do this so we can have this recorded, because we constantly have new people coming in. And what if you had a video like this that you can, like we have another one, a really good video too, that somebody did some breakdown, but it's never enough. Have another video that you can send people that need help with just understanding the basics of how we use and operate on TradingView. It's going to save you a ton of time. You don't have to keep repeating the same thing over and over again, and it actually permits duplication. So I'm excited to do this. Like I told you guys, I got me and Powell. She reached out to me to start doing this. So shout out to her, chairwoman. She's amazing. Always grinding, always setting a standard, like always. So I'm happy to be able to collab with you on this. And like I say, me and her are going to be discussing a few more things. And I have a couple of people. We're probably going to find a few more people who wants to step up and start helping teaching some of this basic stuff in Forex, because we can't forget about the basics. We got to keep everybody up to date. I know a lot of people be telling me, like, it seemed like almost everybody that I find now and I started helping, they almost say that they was like, the relationship was almost going to be over. Like they was like, man, bro, man, if I ain't find Trade House, bro, I was going to be done. That's like everybody's story. They be like, I don't even know what I was doing, dude. I'll just be like, I'll be so appalled, because some of you guys have been in for 4 or 5 months and you don't know how to use, like, it's just like crazy. But for here and there, we're getting it done now. And shout out, make sure you guys, give us some shout outs on IG. Shout out me and Paola for putting this together. So you can get more of your team members. Start plugging your team into this, because you're not going to have to sit there and play Dr. Doolittle and keep answering the same questions over and over again. This is how we get duplication. We train together, right? We teach together, and then we can promote use the same trainings over and over again, and then create new ones when we need to. All right, so I'm gonna let Paola end it off. And
thank you guys so much. Thank you, Modest, so much for your time. I appreciate it. And thank you for everybody who hopped on. We're going to be doing these calls every Sunday. So we'll have like a different topic on the basics, and then whatever you guys actually need help with, we'll go ahead and help you do that.
Yeah, we might start running some polls or something. like just to see what like everybody like wanted to be a topic. Look at my man's mugs. He always come at the end of the party. All right. So with that said, guys, hope y'all have an amazing and a blessed day. We're going to be I will be doing the 4 a.m. session in the morning. I don't know if it's gonna be probably like more like 4:30, but I will be doing the session in the morning. And I'm gonna grind it out this week. Next week we got some stuff we're gonna be moving, a ton of stuff we're gonna be doing. So I might be out for just like a couple of days because I'm moving, transferring from where I'm at to somewhere else. And then after that, though, I'm gonna have a team with me. I got a couple of guys that's gonna be down there. We're gonna grind out. So thank you guys. You guys have a blessed and amazing day, and we'll see you guys in the chat. Boop, 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 boop. Stay blessed.